Welcome back, you guys. I'm Gerald David.
And I'm Kitty.
And this is 2Aprons. Part B, I guess. I don't really know. We don't do a lot of. Yeah, we don't do a lot of continues. So we're doing the lobster mac and cheese. As you see, it's come out beautifully. Now we kind of did this in a little bit of a weird order. But we're going to take a minute and show you how we got to this prep stage, the boiling of the water, for which I know is amazing, right? You don't know how to boil water. You do, but it will show the boiling of the water for the noodles, for the lobster.
The boiling of the salted water, that's right.
That's a key part, salted water. People get all up on you for not salting that water, too. It's all about how it does something sciencey to the starches. It has nothing to do with flavor. That blew my mind. But we'll mainly show you how the cheese was blended, folded, and how that was prepared. The beautiful Miss Kitty did that for us today.
Thank you.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Oh, I don't know if we're allowed to say that, Dave. You might have to cut that part out.
Roll that beautiful footage.
Is it here? Is it there? Is it there? I don't know.
Hi everybody, it's me, Kitty. Gerald David is running camera for me right now. And this
Hello.
week we are at the beach. And so we decided we are going to do lobster mac and cheese to get some awesome seafood in there. Because, you know, when at the beach, you may as well do beachy things. I'm going to grab this plate. Our lobster tails have boiled for about 4 minutes. And
which is a minute per ounce, everybody.
Yes.
So we got 4-ounce lobster tails.
so we've got these guys that are coming out and they're going to cool. And then we will deal with that.
And remember, everybody, to salt your water.
Yeah, so this water has already been salted. I'm about to salt my...
Yummy.
Look at those pretty babies. And now, salting my pasta water. Because of course that's so important. We're dropping that in there. So we've now got our salted pasta water. And that is coming up to temperature. We're going to drop some orecchiette pasta in there, which is kind of like grown-up shells, like a little more low-key. So we've got some orecchiette pasta. We've got about a ½ pound of that. We've got 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm probably only going to use 2 of those. We've got some flour, mascarpone cheese. We have white sharp cheddar cheese, and then we have Gruyere as well. It called for Comte. We couldn't find that, and so we googled what's similar to it, and they said Gruyere would be a good substitute. So we're going to get some Gruyere in there. And then these are the breadcrumbs for the top of our casserole. They've been tossed with a tablespoon of butter and 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, melted butter. And then we also added some pepper in there. So that is going to go on top of our lobster mac and cheese. I'm going to go ahead and get this heating up to about medium to get that butter going once we get our pasta in. And it looks like that's going to be able to happen pretty soon. So our pasta is going to cook for 7 minutes. To this saucepan, we're going to add the butter. We're going to add some flour to that and whisk it together. And then we're going to start adding our cheeses. Oh, actually, then we're going to add some cognac. Secret ingredients, maybe. Not secret from you guys, but you know, if you ever make this, like, leave that part out. It's supposed to help thicken, and it was in several different recipes we looked at for this, so we're going to see what that does to it exactly. And then we're going to start adding the cheeses after that. The mascarpone goes in last, kind of finishes. By then our pasta should be done, and then we're just going to combine it all together and bake it for like 10 minutes. So really simple, really fun. Should be really amazing, rich, good, awesome seafood, comfort food. I'm super excited about this.
Yummy.
Yes.
High scale bougie comfort food is what we are all about.
That is very true. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and throw this pasta into this water, which is low-key started to boil. And again, remember, this is our salted water. So we've got that in there. Just poke that around a little to make sure everyone is covered. There we go. And I'm going to set this timer for 7 minutes. We're going to let that cook, and we might give it another minute or so. We've got some butter here.
And that's 3 tablespoons, I believe.
It is, and I want to say we're supposed to use 2 because I think 1 tablespoon went into the breadcrumbs. Ooh,
I bet you're right.
that was very loud.
I think that's exactly what happened.
2 and get that melting.
Melty.
Which, as you can see, not too difficult. So I'm gonna look at my recipe right quick and just make sure that once I melt the butter, I'm whipping in the flour. Melt the butter over medium-low heat, kind of on medium-ish. Probably turn that down just a little bit. Then we're gonna add the flour and whisk for about a minute, and we've got our handy timer going, so that'll be ish. Then we're gonna add the cognac, and we got some Hennessy, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got some good cognac over there that I'm gonna add to that. And it says the mixture will thicken immediately when I put that in. So I have not looked at like why that would be a thing, but I know flour is used as a thickener. I was kind of surprised when they were saying like cognac would make it thicken, but we will see what we see, folks. This is my first time making this recipe as well. So just letting that butter is almost where we want it. So after we add the cognac, we're gonna add 2 cups of milk, which is in the fridge currently, so I'll get that out in a minute. We're gonna whisk that in, slowly adding it while whisking. Then we're gonna increase the heat to medium and stir occasionally until it bubbles. I like how specific these directions are. It's not like a period of time, it's like until it bubbles. Okay, sure. So I'm getting my milk here, just to have that out over here, and it's gonna replace where the pasta was. So that is 2 cups of whole milk that we just pulled out. That pasta is just bubbling away now. We're at 6 minutes on our timer. Our butter is melted. So I'm gonna grab my trusty whisk here. I'm gonna whisk in this flour. It doesn't ever really say to turn it up, but I am gonna turn up the heat a little bit. In order to get the flour fully incorporated, I'm just kind of like slowly whisking it in as I go. And I want to say this is called a roux, like when you make a sauce by whisking flour into butter. I could be wrong, so if you know more than I do about it, because I didn't Google anything for this because I was on vacation, but I want to say that's how that works. Just let me know. And I don't know how much more this could thicken up, to be honest, because it's pretty much a paste right now. Let me add a little more butter. See if we can get that to loosen up just a little bit. Because butter always makes things better. Like, very rarely, if never, have I ever heard anybody be like, there's just too much butter. I would love it if there was less butter, except for like super healthy people. So it does happen sometimes. We've got our flour and our butter combined there. So we're gonna let that cook about a minute. So I'm gonna whisk in the cognac. Cognac, which is about a tablespoon. And if I knew where my measuring spoons were.
I think they're in that drawer right under there.
Oh. Yay, my hero. So we have about a tablespoon of cognac that's gonna go in here. And this is looking pretty good. So there is that.
Definitely makes it bubble and come to life.
It's doing stuff, guys. It's doing stuff. It says it will immediately thicken, which...
It did. I'll turn the heat down a little.
Put it on about a 3. It smells like cognac, y'all. Alright. So after we add the whisk and the cognac, we're going to slowly add the milk while whisking. Just to make sure that top is a little bit better before I do that.
And I wouldn't quite use it all.
The milk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be prepared to add a little bit too. That way if it's not too thick, you can, or if it's too thick, I mean, you can always make it a little bit soupier. It's harder to make it thicker.
Yes, it's definitely easier to add than to subtract in a recipe, so you always want to be a little erring on the side of like not enough rather than too much.
I'd go ahead and put half of it in, just so that way it doesn't.
It slowly.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we're whisking it in slowly.
Oh, you're right. I forgot it said that. I was just thinking more about the...
So I'm just kind of going little by
there
little
you go.
as it gets blended. And that is important because if you really overdo the mixture, it just gets weird.
I have learned there is some science to that. You're right. There is a right way to whisk and to fold and to fold in the cheese. Fold in the cheese.
David. That was one of my favorite scenes to shoot. I really enjoyed that. If y'all know, you know. So this sauce is looking good. That is a 1 minute warning on our pasta. We're gonna leave it in about another minute.
1 minute warning.
After it goes off. Because, and I do want to add most of this milk because that cheese that we're gonna add is also gonna thicken the sauce up. Like by a lot. So don't worry if it's a little, like you don't want it to be overly, you know, loose. Don't worry if it's a little bit more. It says it should get to the consistency where it coats the back of the spoon. Did you measure this? Is this 2 cups? Okay. So where it coats the back of the spoon, and that's kind of what we're looking for.
Might have to adjust the temperature again, maybe turn it up. Maybe me having you turn it down is a little too much. I'd go even a touch higher than that.
No, because it says medium low and it doesn't tell me to turn it back up, so I'm going to stick with about there. It's because otherwise you could brown the butter and like, it's a whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and put the pasta on for another minute. It wasn't like at a rolling boil when we put it in, so I feel like it's going to be fine for that. Let's see what this is supposed to be doing. Increase the heat to medium and stir occasionally until it starts to bubble. Okay, you were right. It does say to increase the heat to medium, so we'll turn that up to a little after 4. And
but you're right to be cautious, though.
I have not added all of that milk. I feel like I'm gonna
Go ahead and add it.
go ahead and add it. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and add it.
All of it, but the last little bit.
And this is like a really becoming a really smooth, velvety sauce. So I'm very happy with the consistency of it so far. No lumps. Alright. And that is going to be our pasta. So I'm going to set this aside for just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. A, because it's really hot, but also because I'm going to
use the big plate in the cupboard.
Okay. I'm going to drain this off and go ahead and throw it into our casserole dish. Oh, the fun steam.
Steamy in here.
Which I'm sure is doing lovely things to my hair, to my already beachy hair.
It's the price you pay when you want to film on location.
Because who doesn't want some good lobster mac and cheese at the beach? Like, I definitely do. So we've got our pasta drained off. Put that there. I'm just going to throw these guys in here to await some fantastic sauce. Ooh.
Yummy.
Awesome. Let me return to my mixture here, which looks like it is doing nothing. I need to turn that up a little bit. So what am I waiting for it to do?
Bubble and
I'm
thicken,
waiting for
and then
it
you
to
add the
get bubbly.
cheese. Yeah. So you can add the cheese so it can start melting.
And it does say stir occasionally until it starts to bubble. Yeah. Maybe turn that up just a little bit more. Now I'm going to watch my sauce and wait for it to bubble. After we've added these cheeses and they've all melted in and gotten nice in there, we will add the mascarpone, finish that, turn off the heat, and then of course the breadcrumbs are going to go on top. So it's kind of like a simple dish, like there's not a whole lot to it. Oh, of course we're going to throw the lobster in when we do the cheese sauce and everything. We're going to have to prep it, so what we'll do is we'll de-shell it and then we'll chop that meat up. Okay, so once that starts bubbling, we are adding the cheese. So this will thicken enough to coat the back of a spoon. So let's just try that and see what that looks like. I'm going to grab a different spoon because I want to actually clean spoon to be able to tell if it's coating the back of it. I would say that coated the back of a spoon. So we are good on that. And then we start adding cheese. Add salt and pepper to taste, add the cheese. All right, so add a little bit of salt. Add a little bit of pepper, because I love pepper. We do have a lot in our breadcrumbs too, so. And then we're just gonna start adding handfuls of cheese, and it says add a handful and let that melt entirely down, like whisk until it's completely incorporated into the sauce, and then at that point you can add the next handful. So it is just a matter of melting cheese now for our sauce. And what you're doing with the constant whisking, A, it's not sticking, but B, you're also making sure that your sauce is going to be smooth. Because what you don't want is to have chunks of unmelted cheese coming up in your sauce. At least you just want a nice creamy cheese sauce. We've got the rest of our cheddar in there. We're mixing that.
Yummy white cheddar.
So delicious. Sharp white cheddar. Because that is where you get all your flavor. If you're using a milder white cheddar, you're just not going to have nearly as much flavor. So now that that is good, we're going to start adding this Gruyere by the handful and getting that incorporated in. This is like some ridiculous cheesy goodness right here, no joke. I'm so excited. There have been times in my life where it would have been possible that I might have just, you know, eaten this entire thing of sauce with nothing else. I'm a huge fan of cheese. I could never be vegan. My wonderful co-host and cameraman currently has just reminded me about the mascarpone. So as soon as all of this, and I think we're there, is boiled down, I'm gonna get that out. Get it in there. Stir it in, and then that is going to finish off our sauce. Get that all incorporated and melted down. And mascarpone, I know we've talked about it before, but it's like a sweeter Italian, like almost cream cheese style cheese, but it is lightly sweet. And I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Welcome back, y'all. I'm Gerald David.
And I'm Kitty.
And this is 2Aprons on vacation. We wanted to take a minute to show you that you can meet in the middle. You can be safe at social distance, but still kind of help hotels and encourage a little bit of self-exploration, if I may say. We've social distance, as you can tell. This is almost a private beach. Not really a private beach, just more of a well-held secret. Due to a good sponsor of ours, we've been gifted this on location. So we're going to make the best of it. Show you how to stay away from people, mask up 6 feet away, all that fun stuff I'm sure you already know. And one of the things we wanted to do is show that you don't have to really blow the bank either. We make sure we go support some restaurants, but because of social distancing, you don't want to go out as much as you probably used to. We're good to go to restaurants that we know practice, you know, they take the temperature at the door, disposable menus or menus on your phone, a lot less touch points. So it's really safe as long as you're going with safe practices. Today we wanted to show you one of the ways that you kind of help also on the budget but also keep safe practices was cooking. While you're on vacation, if you have a place with a kitchen or just a hot plate, we wanted a beach themed meal. So we were thinking, I love mac and cheese.
I love lobster.
So lobster mac and cheese. So here we are. And as you can tell, we got all the fixins.
All right, so we've got our orchetti pasta.
Orchetti.
We have our homemade cheese sauce, which is fantastic.
Dump in here now.
Yes. So you're getting all that mixed up. Oh, wow.
So yummy.
Wow, that is a lot of cheese sauce. And then we're gonna mix in, this is 3 lobster tails that David's broken down after we cook them.
Let me show that to the camera
Yes.
real close. That was not easy work. It's not super hard. You can definitely do it, but you gotta get into it. You guys gotta get in there.
And then we're gonna reserve a little bit of this meat for the top. So we're gonna do about 2/3 of it in there.
And we don't just do that for looks. The reason why, anytime you're making something with shellfish, if it's something that typically doesn't have it, put a little piece on there so the people with allergies can look at it and know, oh, that has crab or lobster or some type of not normal mac and cheese. Oh, this looks fantastic. Do we go ahead and do the panko?
We're gonna mix that all together and get it really mixed up, and then we're just gonna top it with the panko and this lobster meat. And then we're gonna throw that in the oven for about 10 minutes just so it gets all bubbly and golden and yummy, and the breadcrumbs get browned, and then we'll top it with some chives and be ready to eat.
I think we're good. Here's the breadcrumbs.
Okay, so I would not pour those.
Oh, what do you think?
I just like to like sprinkle.
All right, we'll let you do your thing. I'll hold it for you. That way I feel like I'm doing something.
I am also a control freak, guys. I don't know if you've noticed this about me, but I definitely am. And so like I want to have like control of like where the breadcrumbs go. I want them to be like evenly placed. And
so do I.
Dumping breadcrumbs just doesn't typically, and also I'm not
I wasn't gonna dump them. You didn't really let me show it. I have a technique, and it's not dumping it. She's a little presumptuous in this. If she had observed or asked some questions.
No, I ask clarifying questions sometimes. I did not that time. But no, I'm also not a huge carb person, so I don't think we'll need all of these breadcrumbs, to be honest.
And that's the real reason, folks.
Yeah.
She knows I'm gonna go for the extra helping. She's gonna use a little bit more restraint and discipline.
So I kind of like where we are with this, and I'll let David show you, Gerald David show you. But that's like my preference, and that's about half of the breadcrumbs that we made.
Perfect.
Maybe a little bit more.
And garnish this.
Yep. Then we're gonna take the extra lobster meat that we reserved, and we're just gonna top that.
Perfect.
Some little juicy guys on there.
That is fantastic.
And of course it's lobster, so use all of it.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
And I'll do a little light dusting of breadcrumbs to kind of also go just slightly over the lobster itself, just to add a good layering visual.
For sure.
I'm gonna go throw this in the oven that we have preheated at 425.
Yep, 425 degrees.
For how many minutes?
It's gonna go in for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right, I'll take this stuff with me.
Thank you.
We can leave the salt and pepper, but I'll take this. Bum, bum, bum.
And while he is doing that fantastic work of getting that dish finished off, I am going to show you our beach cocktail, or cocktail in this case, that we have been making for ourselves during this vacation. So again, we're not going out to bars or anything. We're trying to do this like in a safe, quarantine, social distance way. So what we did was we got all of the alcohols and we are making what we call our beach punch, and trust me, it does pack a punch. And so this is our cocktail that we have been doing since we've been down here. And I'm very excited about showing this to you. So we have some gin, and it's all just equal parts. Ooh, I did forget the lemon juice. Hold on one second. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a 3 count of this, or a 2 count actually, because there's so much alcohol involved. I do a 2 count, so it's 1, 2, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. And we're just gonna do that with each of the liqueurs here. So that is our gin. We also have some vodka. So we're gonna do a 2 count of that. 1,000, 2, 1,000. 1,000, 2, 1,000. I think we had some friendly visitors on the beach back there a minute ago. I'm not sure. Heard somebody having a good time, so that's always fun. We have some tequila here. We're gonna do 2 of those. 1,000, 2, 1,000. 1,000, 2, 1,000. And I keep all of these liquors in the fridge so that when you pour them, they're really, in the freezer, I'm sorry. So when you pour them, they're really cold. Because alcohol has a much lower freezing point than water, they don't ever actually freeze. So it's just nice to have them. They just are automatically, as you can see, I still have ice in the glasses, but it just keeps them cold. So I've now added 2 count pour of some white rum. David's got the lemon juice.
Lemon juice.
Gerald David to the rescue. All right.
So cocktails, I see, catch me up. What we doing?
Yeah, so I was showing them our beach punch because it packs a punch that we've been doing this week. So we've done the gin, the vodka, the tequila, and then the white rum just went in. And now we're gonna add this raspberry flavored liqueur. And we just do a little touch of that. So it's like
just enough to change the color.
Blanc, blanc.
That's what makes it beachy.
It is. It's beachy. We love beachy. And then we're gonna add about a 1 count or a 2 count of lemon juice Awesome. And then we're gonna top off with club soda.
Ooh, yummy. Let me get a thing to stir.
Give it a good generous helping of club soda there. There is a lot of alcohol involved in this, okay? So it is not gonna be a problem that you add some club soda. You're still gonna get a huge kick. And this is what we have done for our week at the beach. And then of course, like when you plan for this, you also have like tequila. So if you get a margarita mixer, you have vodka. So we have orange juice, we can do screwdrivers. You know, you just have a lot of different options. Gin, we can do gin and tonic. But then this is our beach punch, and this is like our beachy cocktail. So that is...
You want to stir it up pretty good, at least for me. That way the razzmatazz really kind of...
The raspberry liqueur, this is not, this is just a raspberry flavored liqueur, and it's not like necessarily top shelf, the one that we have this time, and so it's a little bit sweeter, so that's why you just want to use a little and make sure it's stirred up good, because otherwise it can be a little bit cough syrupy. But if used in the right amount, yeah, if used in the right amount, it adds like a little fruity kick.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to you, my love.
Mmm. That is delicious,
That
y'all.
turned out really well.
That is delicious.
Yeah,
Ooh, we're gonna sit back, we're gonna relax.
mm-hmm.
We're gonna come back in probably what's about 15 minutes. Is that how long the mac and cheese has left?
10 minutes
Is that
altogether.
all together? So
Yeah.
probably about 8 minutes.
There'll be less drinks, but there'll be more fun. We're gonna garnish with chives and show you what the dish looks like all complete.
That's right. We'll be back.
Bye.
Thank you all for coming back. From watching the prep, so now you kind of get it. Pretty much what we did is took lobster, noodles, and our cheese sauce, and we combined it to make this beautiful dish. Lobster, mac, and cheese.
On top. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yes, and the breadcrumbs on top. I'm sorry, 4 parts. 4 things into one. It's like Megatron. Or I guess it's that Voltron. No, Voltron. Yeah. You can tell us
There's a Megatron too.
There it is, but that's something else. Voltron's the one that was all the robots that combined, a lot of lions, boom. That looks fantastic. Don't you think, Kitty?
Yeah, I am like super excited to dig into this. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
scoop
going
it up.
to-
Here, let me go ahead and do that for you. Hold the table for me so
Yes.
it doesn't do anything weird. Show you guys just how creamy this is.
Oh yeah, this cheese sauce is gonna be killer. Like I'm so
Look
excited
at that. Look at that, you guys. That is spectacular.
Woo.
That is something special.
And because if you're looking at this while we scoop it up and you're going, well, yeah, but it's a little beige. We have our green garnish. We have our
That's
cut
true.
chives here that we're
Deliciousness,
gonna
add
top that
those.
with to give it a little
Something of color.
color punch. Plus, I just love chives.
Oh, they're so good.
So yeah, have our little pop of color, make it pretty. 'Cause you know
That
we
it
like
does.
Here we go.
Look at that. All right, y'all. On the beach, PCB. Thank you to our beautiful friends, our beautiful sponsors. Support your local hotel industry. A vacation can be done. We came in here, even though they did the enhanced clean, they did this big disinfection, we went in and disinfected it again. And we had already talked to two, and it's different. We know we have personal connections, but you can reach out to your friends and family, your network as well. We made sure no one else had stayed here 48 hours prior to us being here. We came in and disinfected everything again, just to know that we touched it, we did
We
it.
hit all touch points, remotes, light switches, doorknobs, toilet handles, like everything with like disinfecting wipes, wiped everything down, like really went through and made sure that like everything was as safe as we could possibly make it.
And taking those extra precautions is what gives us peace of mind. I do believe that we can slowly get back to respectful events. I think social distancing is the key. I think disinfecting touch points is the key, and wearing your mask is the key. I think being polite, don't touch your face, do it proper, hold yourself accountable. Personal responsibility, I think, will always take us the furthest, because that's really where you start to set a new benchmark. No longer are you putting yourself to the lowest common denominator. It's with personal accountability, you have the ability to raise the bar. And that's what we do here at 2Aprons. And you can tell, because this ain't no normal mac and cheese. This is lobster mac and cheese.
So hopefully you've got your lobster mac and cheese, you've got your beach punch, and you are ready for a killer night. 'Cause
That's
we are.
right. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Lobster. Lobster. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Bye, guys.